Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is hot and I have a lot to do today. I need to put on a face that's going to stay put all day. I don't like sweating. It ruins your makeup. You know, you spend all this time putting your makeup on in the morning and then you walk outside and you're sweating already. So we're going to put on a full face today that I know will stay put even in the heat. If that sounds like you, grab yourself a cup of coffee. I know it's hot, but I'm still drinking my hot coffee because that's just me. If you know me, you know how much I love my coffee. And I've got another new Life is Good mug. I love these things so much. I got a couple of them on vacation at a Life is Good store, and this one just has some cute little strawberries. I love it. All right, let's jump into this. So I don't normally use a primer. However, I'm going to today because I really feel like this helps. I don't know if the new formula, the packaging is different, if this is the same, but I'm using the Ulta Beauty Poreless Face Primer. This works so well. And I'm only doing a little tiny bit in areas where I need it. But anything like that, will kind of smooth out the skin and just help kind of control oil that's breaking up the makeup is what I'm looking for here. Okay, we have a couple foundation options. Today I'm going to use a higher end foundation that I know works even if you're standing outside in the heat. I wore this to an outdoor wedding. This is the Benefit Professional Foundation. This works beautifully in the heat. If you have oily skin, it just looks better throughout the day. You have a couple of drugstore options as well. I do find that the Maybelline Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation works really, really well. If I powder this down, this won't go anywhere. It doesn't budge all day long. I trust this one in the heat. And then another option, I recently reviewed the NYX Make 'em Wonder Foundation. This one lasts really, really well just in general. So in the heat, if it's something you already have in your stash, these are good options. But we're going to use the Professional Foundation today. I love this. This is one of my favorites. I have the shade 7N Savvy. It's a good shade match for me. You don't need a lot of this stuff. It blends so beautifully. All right, and I'm just going to go on the back of my hand with one pump. So we're just going to go in, and I only used a tiny little bit. We're going to blend this out. It blends out very quickly, very smoothly. And this is a pretty full coverage foundation. I'll call it a high medium because I'm not going to build this up to the point where I'm going to probably get full coverage. You can still see a little bit through. But again, I'm going to go in with a concealer that I know is going to last. I'm going to leave this coverage alone. But look at that. That was hardly any product. And I'm well covered. I've been reaching for this this summer, along with a couple of my drugstores, specifically the Lumi Matte. I really like that one for summertime. It is super light. This one is very, believe it or not, it's a thicker formula when you pump it out, but it feels incredibly light on the skin. Oh gosh, every time I use this, I don't know why I'm surprised. Every time I use this, I just love the finish. I love how it comes out. It looks natural on the skin. So all we're gonna do, one pump. I use the full pump. But again, this is a great foundation. I know it's expensive. Again, you're gonna get a similar result with this. Moving on to concealer. Again, we have a couple of options here. I always love my Natasha Denona. You hear me talk about this, you're going to get tired of hearing me talk about this. This is a perfect foundation for anything, doesn't matter. Heat, cold, it's perfection. But a couple of drugstore options. I still love this Catrice True Skin. I've been reaching for this almost every day. This stays put. It says it's waterproof. It's also hydrating. So around my eyes, I really kind of need something that's going to hydrate the skin. Another good one that I don't know that people are talking about too much, but I really like is the Pretty Smart Conceal and Appeal Concealer. I have the shade 204 Light Warm. This is really good. I gotta tell you, I don't love all of their products. I really don't like their foundation. But this concealer is really good. I got it, you can find this at Walmart. I also have the Pretty Smart Quad eyeshadow palette. It's made by the maker of The Balm Cosmetics, and it's a good line. I mean, I like most of what I try, I like. However, the foundation is very drying on me. I didn't like it. But this is really good. This is another one that kind of stays put. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Catrice True Skin. It never looks heavy. And again, I have said this before, I keep this on my under eye. I keep it down here and blend up. So I'm not using too much on my under eye. I'm going to use my Morphe M132 concealer brush here. And I'm going to just start tapping it in. Spread it a little bit and tap it in. And then slowly work my way up to cover any redness up there. But I just don't want it up underneath my eye where those little lines are. It just does not look good. I get too much product up there. Look how fast that blended out, and it's perfection. It's absolute perfection. There are some products that can make your skin, and I am not 25 anymore. My skin has not been the same since I was probably 34. So, and it changes every few years. So we're adapting right now. We are adapting to what we're working with. Okay, my base is down, but we are going to go ahead and use a powder. I need a powder, and I'm going to use it a little bit more heavily than I normally would if I'm just going to be inside all day. But since we're going to be out and about, I'm going to use, let's see, I have a lot of powders that work. Most of the powders that I have that I've kept work very well for me. I haven't used the Milani Conceal and Perfect in a while. Blur Out powder, I really, really like this. It's a little messy, but I do like it. But I recently found, and I did a short on this as well, and there's a dollar store video that's already out about this one. This is the Kokie Flawless Seal Translucent Powder. I found this at the Dollar Tree. I don't know why. I don't know if there's overstock, if Kokie is just not being sold anymore at CVS, but check this out. But today, let's use the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I haven't used it in a while. And I got these little powder puffs at the dollar store. I'm going to pull out a clean one. I use this one. But these little guys are so cute, and they work really well. Comes with a little case. That's another thing to check out. The Dollar Tree is just, I'm impressed. So this has a little mesh area here. Just going to dip it right in there. Tap off some of the excess. I need powder all through my center. I'm not going to go on the outer edges yet because I'm going to use a little bit of cream, blush, and bronzer out there. But for now, we're just going to powder here. Get that to settle down, and you can see the blurring effect that this has. Okay, we'll probably come back in with this again in a minute. I don't know if I got something in my eye or if it's allergies. It's very possible it's allergies right now. I never had allergies until I became an adult. Who knows? I'm going to use a liquid bronzer and blush today, and I'm going to layer a little bit so that everything is staying in place but doesn't look heavy. This is the balancing act I do with my skin when it's hot outside. I need some powder to keep it down, but at the same time, too much powder on my skin looks heavy. So we're doing this balancing act, and I think I've got it figured out. Been trying to pull out some products that I haven't used in a while. Let's use the Revolution Cream Bronzer today. This is one of the best. This is one of my absolute favorites. It goes down very smoothly like butter. It's very natural looking. I don't use a ton. It has like a pineapple smell. This is the shade Light. And I'm going to use my e.l.f. Cream Blush and Bronzer Duo. I love this brush. This is my favorite e.l.f. brush. Okay, and we're gonna just kind of tap off some of the excess because I just don't want to go overboard. Oops, see, and that's okay. So there's a lot of pigment in this. You got to work with it. You got to make sure you don't go overboard. But we'll work with it. This will settle down. It doesn't stay this intense, and I'll go over it with my foundation brush. But that's why I tap off on the back of my hand. I try to keep it high back here. I did not succeed today. I went a little overboard. Let's go back into what's on my hand and see if that works better. No, it's kind of better. It's got a lot of pigment. It packs a punch, so you just have to be careful with something like this. Okay, we're going to use a cream blush, and I am going to, let's see, I've been using this so much, and I don't want you to get tired of it, but I'm going to use the e.l.f. Muted Mauve stick today. I am going to go over it with the powder, but right now we're going to use this just for a base, and I'll use something a little different. But I just cannot get away from this. I love this shade so much. It builds up nicely. It's, you know, if I use the back of my hand like I just did with the bronzer, I don't go overboard, but it just gives a nice flush of color. And then I can go over it with a powder and we're good to go. Looking smooth here. All right, now we're going to go in with a powder blush. I'm going to try one that I haven't been using in a while because I feel like I'm using the same one over and over, but I do love my Revlon. This is such a good this is such a good blush. It's the shade Rosy Rendezvous. Really, really, really good. I did mention the Pretty Smart Trios. I love this. This is the all-in-one face palette. This is what shade is this? 060 light neutral, and it's kind of a mess, but you can see how well loved this is. This is one of my favorite blushes. So I'm going to go in just over top of that cream blush, and we're going to kind of set that down with it. I'm going to clean this up under here a little bit. It's looking like lines here, harsh lines. We don't want that. And we're going to fade it into the forehead. Now I'm going to go back in with my powder again. Now that I've gotten all of my base products down, we're just going to use a little bit more of this Milani. I've got myself set down. I just go in light and add as needed. That's definitely better. We are set down. Now I'm going to do my eyes. I'm going to do that off camera. I'll show you what I use, and because that really doesn't change based on how hot it is outside. I just make sure I have my eyeshadow primer on, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I have my eyeshadow on. I just used my regular products for this look. I go in with, this is the Natasha Denona Hyper Natural Face Palette. I'm using this while I have it because I think it might be going away, but I use this one called Everyday. Today, sometimes I use Statement, but today I use this one over top of the paint pot, and then I go in with the Luxe Glam Quad from Natasha Denona. This is the shade Nude, and I used this, and this goes in the crease. I do that whether it's hot or cold outside, that really doesn't matter, but I am going to show you what mascara I use when it's super hot out. It cannot, if I'm getting hot and sweaty, I need to make sure it's not transferring down here. I hate that. That is a pet peeve for me. I can't stand it. So I have been using the L'Oreal Extensionist mascara. This is not the only one that works in that way. You could also use the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity. This is a very good one. There are some I just don't trust to stay put when it's hot. Another option could be the Falsies Surreal. This is a really good mascara. I don't know if people talk about this, but this is a good one, and it doesn't budge. But today we're going to use this. It is a very, I've shown you this before, I believe, but this is a skinny rubbery wand. and it really builds up. We'll clean it up. It just builds up so quickly, and it's really great for lengthening and volumizing. This is such a good mascara. I think it's fairly new. I reach for this every day. It isn't the easiest to get off. It does take a little extra product and rubbing to get it off. Let me just do the other eye real fast. Okay, mascara is on. I'm going to skip my bottom lashes. I'm out of the e.l.f. tubing mascara. I just used that up, but that's the only one I think I have right now that I trust on my bottom lashes. So I'm not going to do anything today with that. But this is the finished look. I just have an e.l.f. Lip Reviver lip oil on. I think I have on the shade Rose Envy. I think that's what I used. I forgot a step. Final step. Almost forgot. I put a setting spray over top of all of this if I'm going to be out and about. And the one I really like is the NYX Marshmallow Setting Spray. I love this line. I've used the primer before and love it. It's more of a hydrating primer, but this has a matte finish to it, and it just keeps everything on all day. It helps everything melt together, but then it doesn't mess with the finish of your makeup. That's everything. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know down below what your favorite products are for summer heat, keeping your makeup on all day long. I hope you have an amazing week and make it a great day. Bye.